chat. So please continue. I'd love to hear where everybody is from as we get the party started and start talking about some really awesome things that are going to help. So I see Paula from Dallas. We've got the Nolia from Lake Charles. Basima and Chris, hello. How is everybody today? All right, Shayla from St. Louis, welcome. Excited to see you guys. Really excited to dive into everything that we're going to be talking about today. We got Atlanta in the house, ATL. Welcome, Cash. Got Ruth from Oklahoma City, Libby from Memphis. Wow, we're from all over. I see a lot of more southern. Anybody from more northern areas? St. Louis is kind of up there. More Midwest. Where else do we have people coming in from? Pennsylvania. There we go. Awesome. I'm going to just because we had some tech issues, let people kind of trickle back in here just for about 2 more minutes, and then we will go ahead and get started. Thank you all for being so very patient. As we all know, technology is our friend until it's not. So we are doing our best with what we have. Ohio. Okay, now we got someone from up north. Another Cleveland, Ohio. Welcome. Awesome. I'm going to go ahead and start getting our presentation set up here for you guys as well. All right, to make sure everyone can see. I appreciate the emoji in the chat. Okay, well, for some reason, it does not look like you guys can see my slides. I'm going to try to reshare that. There we go. All right, can everyone see that? If y'all can let me know. Hello, Dee. Welcome in. If y'all can drop a 1 in the chat for me, if y'all can see my presentation okay. I just want to make sure everyone can see everything. All right, amazing. I see a couple yeses. Okay, awesome. All right. Okay, well, if you haven't already, as we get started, I would love for you all to keep dropping where you're from in the chat, especially as you're coming in. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Whole Body Reset Masterclass. I am Dr. Stephanie Dunlop, and I'm absolutely thrilled that you guys are all here tonight. Like I said, say hi in the chat. Tell us where you're joining from. I really just love seeing our community come together from all over, whether you're joining us from your kitchen table after putting the kids to bed, or you're just sneaking this in during a work break. You've definitely made the right decision to be here tonight, because what we're about to really discover in the next hour is really going to change everything you thought you knew about why your body has been fighting against you, and more importantly, how to finally work with it instead of against it. So what we're going to dive into first is, before we dive in, I do have to share an important disclaimer with you all. So everything we discuss tonight is purely for educational purposes. I'm not here to diagnose, treat, or cure anything. I am here to purely educate you about what's possible when you understand your body's unique signals. So always consult with your healthcare provider before making any changes to your health regimen. And now with that said, let's go ahead and get to the good stuff. So my promise to you guys today, and what we'll discover in the next 60 minutes, is exactly how to rebalance your hormones, heal your gut, and lose fat sustainably. So without the starvation diets, the endless cardio, or the guesswork that a lot of us end up doing. You see, most women are stuck in a cycle of just trying harder with the same broken approaches. But when you understand the exact really 5-pillar system that I'm going to share with you tonight, it's the same system that's helped hundreds of women finally break through plateaus and really just feel like themselves again. literally everything changes in that moment. And I do mean everything: your energy, your confidence, your relationship with food, even how you show up for your family and your career. It's really a game changer. But really, before we go any further, I just need to ask you all a critical question that will really determine your success, not just tonight, but in everything you do moving forward. So which one are you, a doer or a thinker? You see, I've worked with thousands of women over the years, and I've really noticed something fascinating. There's really just two types of people who attend trainings like this. So we have the thinkers, they gather information, they research endlessly, they have 47 tabs open on their browser right now, probably. And 6 months from now, they're still thinking, still researching, still stuck in the safe place, right? And I've been guilty of this myself before I embarked on my own journey. So it is okay to be this person, but it's just important to know where you're at. And then we have the doers. So they listen, they learn, and most importantly, they take action. So 6 months from now, where are they going to be? They're transformed, right? They're living a completely different body, and they have completely different energy levels. So I'm just curious. And like I said, it's okay to be either one. I just like to know what kind of people we have in the room. Are you a doer or a thinker? If you can drop that in the chat for me, because what you choose tonight will really determine everything and exactly what kind of pathway we're going to go down here. So I'd love for you guys to drop that in the chat. Are you a doer or a thinker? Where are you at in your health journey at the moment? Doer and thinker. Okay. Somewhere in between. I see a couple of both. Oh, you guys aren't choosing one or the other. Okay, thinker. Like, all right. Just a little bit of reflection goes a long way, and knowing where we're at in our journey goes a long way as well. It doesn't mean that we can't switch from one to the other, but it's just really knowing and understanding that. Okay, both. We got a couple boths. We got some thinkers. We got both. It's a lot of both. I don't see anyone who just says, I'm a doer. I'm just going all in. But I like that. It's a nice kind of happy medium there. So that's awesome. I love that. So thank you all for participating. So what I want to talk about is what's possible if you are a doer, right? So if you're someone who's ready to really just finally take action with things like expert support that really understands your unique physiology, then this is really what's possible. So I just want you guys to imagine waking up tomorrow morning, not tomorrow literally, but like 30 days from now, tomorrow morning. And for the first time in years, you actually want to get out of bed. Your energy is back. Your clothes fit the way you want them to. You look in the mirror and think, there I am. I remember that person, right? That's not wishful thinking. That's literally what happens when you stop fighting against your body and start really working with it. So let's really take a moment and be crystal clear about who this training is for, because I want to make sure you're in the right place. This is for you if you're ready to take action with expert support that really understands your unique physiology. If you're really tired of generic advice that doesn't work for your body, and if you're done with the trial and error approach that's really been wasting probably a lot of your time and money, that this is for you. So this is for women who are ready to really invest in themselves and understand that transformation really requires both education and implementation. But just as importantly, it's really important for me to be honest about who this is not for. So this is not for you if you're looking for a magic pill or a quick fix. This is not for you if you're not willing to make changes to get different results. And this definitely isn't for you if you're just here to collect more information to add to your mental filing cabinet. So if that's you, I totally respect that. But I just like to be clear, you might want to use this time for something else. But for everyone else who's ready to finally break through, we're going to keep on going. So, my goal today for you guys is to show you exactly why your body is sending you these distress signals. And this is through symptoms that really most doctors miss, and give you a clear path forward that's based on, again, your unique physiology. Because here's what I've really learned after working with thousands of women is that your body is not broken. It's not working against you out of spite. It's actually trying to communicate with you. It's been sending you messages this whole time. And the problem is no one ever taught you how to really decode those messages until tonight, right? So that's what we're going to dive into. And just a quick little here, if you stay until the end, and I really hope you all do, you will discover 3 things. So first is going to be the exact 5-pillar system that's helped hundreds of women finally break through plateaus. So not just generic advice, but really a systematic approach that addresses the root cause of why you're stuck. And then second, why most approaches actually fail. And I'm talking about approaches that you've probably tried. So We're going to talk about how to avoid these common mistakes that really just keep you spinning your wheels. And the third thing is going to be a really clear next step that's tailored to your unique situation. So no more confusion about what to do next at this point. And because I want to make sure you get the maximum value from our time together, you and everyone who stays to the end really will get 3 incredible bonuses that are absolutely free. So bonus number 1 is going to be my hormone clarity checklist. So this will help you identify which hormones are out of balance based on your symptoms. Bonus number 2 is going to be the bloat busting recipe book, because I know personally how frustrating bloating can be, and these recipes will give you some immediate relief. And then bonus number 3 is the gut healing grocery guide. So you know exactly what to buy and what to avoid when you're at the store. So these bonuses alone are honestly worth over $300 for what I sell them for, and they are yours free just for being here tonight. So thank you all for attending. That is my gift to you. Before we dive into the content, I just want to share really quickly how to get the most from today. So first, please use the chat as you guys have been doing. I'll be asking questions throughout, and I do want to hear from you. So your engagement makes this so much better for everyone. And then second, feel free to take notes, but don't get so caught up in writing everything down that you miss the big picture. I will give you the key steps at the end. And then make sure, third, that you're able to drop your questions in the Q&A as we go. I will answer every single one at the end. That is a promise that I make to you all. And fourth, if you must step away, just keep this tab open so you don't miss anything special, especially the special opportunity that I'll be sharing at the end. And most importantly, just enjoy the next hour. This is truly your time. You've invested in yourself by being here, and I'm going to make sure it's worth every single minute for you guys. And really quickly, I just do want to make sure that everyone has had a chance to grab their workbook as well. If you haven't, I'm going to have my team drop that link for you guys in the chat as well here shortly. So as we go through this next section, you guys can be getting acquainted with that workbook. It's pretty cool. You can open it up. You can start to interact with it. You can save your notes in there as well. And so moving on, let me take a moment to introduce myself properly, because I want you to understand not just what I do, but why I do it and why I'm so passionate about helping women, especially like you, finally get the results you deserve. So I am Dr. Stephanie Dunlop, and I'm a physician and functional health specialist. But more than that, I'm someone who understands exactly what you're going through because I've been there myself. So today I help women decode their body signals and really create personalized transformation plans that actually work. I've had the privilege really and the honor of working with hundreds of women who were stuck, frustrated, and just ready to give up. And I've watched them completely transform their health, their energy, and quite honestly, their lives. But to be honest, it was not always like this for me. You know, the truth is I used to be exactly where many of you are right now. And despite being a physician, despite having access to all the medical knowledge in the world, I was struggling with my own health. I was exhausted all the time. My weight was creeping up no matter what I did. And I felt like my body was honestly working against me. And let's be real, the irony wasn't lost on me. Here I was helping other people with their health, but I couldn't even figure out my own. So I tried everything, every diet, every exercise program, every supplement that promised to be the answer, right? But nothing worked long-term. And I was literally just stuck in the same cycle of temporary results followed by frustrating plateaus. And the worst part was I felt like a fraud. Like, how could I help my patients when I couldn't even help myself, right? And so the turning point really came, and this was a moment that changed everything. And I realized everything I had been taught in medical school about health and weight loss was really missing a crucial piece of the puzzle. Traditional medicine really looks at symptoms in isolation. So gut issues, here's medication. Hormone problems, here's another medication. Weight gain, eat less, exercise more. Like, this is what we tell people, right? So what I discovered really, though, is that everything in your body is connected. And yes, I learned that in medical school, but not to this level and this degree. Things like your gut health affects your hormones affect your metabolism, your stress levels affect everything. When you address these connections systematically, that's where the magic happens. So that's when I developed what I now call the 5-pillar system. And it honestly changed not just my life, but the lives of hundreds of women that I've had the privilege to work with at this point. And so Now I want to show you guys how to do it too, because when you understand these connections is when you really are able to stop treating the symptoms in isolation and start addressing those root causes. That's where the incredible transformations become not just possible, but really inevitable at that point. But first, let me kind of share with you some things that might quite honestly shock you. So did you know that 80% of women will experience hormonal imbalances in their lifetime? And yet the average woman will see 5 different doctors before getting answers that actually help. And here's what's even more shocking is that most of these women are told their labs are quote unquote normal when they're not feeling normal at all. They're dismissed, they're told it's just stress, or worse, told it's all in their head. So if this sounds familiar, you're not alone. And most importantly, you're not crazy, right? Other things that I love to note is that 70% of your immune system is located in your gut, and that directly impacts your hormonal health. So we start to see how things are so interconnected. And 60% of thyroid issues will go undiagnosed despite causing significant symptoms for men and women alike. So this is something that's definitely really important and really highlights the problem with our current medical system. The problem is that it's designed to treat disease, right? Not create optimal health, unfortunately. It's really designed to look at symptoms in isolation, not to understand the really complex web of connections in your body. So when you go to your doctor complaining of fatigue, weight gain, digestive issues, you might get 3 different specialists who each focus on their piece of the puzzle, right? But no one is looking at this huge, big picture. And so that's why so many women leave doctor's appointments feeling more confused and frustrated than when they arrived, right? So tonight, though, what we're going to unpack are the 3 secrets that I'm going to share with you that really change everything. So these are the 3 key insights that have helped honestly, hundreds of women finally break through these plateaus, feel like themselves again. These aren't complicated medical theories that I'm going to be diving into. These are really just practical, actionable insights that you can start implementing immediately. And when you understand all 3 and how they really work together, you'll have the complete roadmap for transformation. So if you guys are ready to dive in, can you go ahead and drop a 1 in the chat for me? Go ahead and drop a 1 in the chat if you're ready to learn. Okay, there we go. I'm starting to see some coming through. Now, as you guys drop your 1s, I do want you to go ahead and make sure that you've got your workbook open so that you can take some notes as you go. All right, I see the 1s popping in, so we're ready to go. We are engaged. Let's move forward. So what we're going to talk about next is going to be secret number 1. So we need to decode your body's hidden signals. So your body is speaking to you. It's really just time to understand what it's saying. So you see, most women have been taught to ignore their body signals or to suppress them with medications. But what if I told you that every symptom you're experiencing, the fatigue, the weight gain, the digestive issues, the mood swings, what if all of these are your body's way of trying to tell you something important? And so when you learn to decode these signals instead of really just suppressing them, that's when everything is. So let me start by explaining something that will honestly probably blow your mind a little bit if you haven't heard it before, and that's the gut hormone connection. Your gut actually produces more neurotransmitters than your brain. It's literally called your second brain for a reason. And when your gut is out of balance, it sends signals throughout your entire body that affect everything from your mood to your metabolism, right? But here's what most people don't really realize is that your gut health directly impacts your hormone production and your metabolism. When your gut is, let's say, inflamed or imbalanced, it can't properly metabolize hormones. And that's when it leads to things like estrogen dominance. It can also cause issues like insulin resistance, and then this cascade of other issues that come from it. So this is why, let's say you can eat perfectly, exercise religiously, but still struggle with weight loss. Your gut hormone connection is likely broken, right? So that's something really important to consider with this. Like, it brings me to something crucial that I really need you guys to understand. This is not about willpower. I hear about willpower, discipline so much. This is about more than that. It's about physiology. For too long, women have been told that if they're not losing weight, it's because they lack willpower. They're not trying hard enough. They're not disciplined enough. But what if I told you that when your hormones are out of balance, your body is literally programmed to hold on to weight? what if I told you that when your gut is inflamed, it sends signals to your brain that increase cravings and decrease satiety? So basically, you're hungry all the time and you never feel full. And then things like, like, I just want to say, you haven't been failing your diet, okay? Your diet has been failing you by not addressing the underlying physiology. That's what's important here to understand. And so this is why I developed what I call the symptom decoder framework. And so instead of suppressing symptoms, we use them as clues to really understand what's really happening in your body. For example, if you're experiencing afternoon energy crashes, that's not just something to keep pushing through with more coffee. That's your body telling you about things like blood sugar dysregulation and possibly adrenal dysfunction as well. And let's say if you're bloated after meals, that's not just something to accept as normal that a lot of us do. That's your body telling you about things like digestive enzyme deficiency, low stomach acid, or gut dysbiosis. So when you learn to decode these signals, you can address the root cause instead of just managing the symptoms. So this is really what led me to develop our signature methodology. And the way that we do this is we're mapping the symptoms to the root causes, and then we're creating a personalized plan. So no two women will ever have the exact same root causes, even with identical symptoms. We want to make sure that's comprehensive and that it also examines all 5 pillars and their interconnections. And then we want to make sure we do it also in the right order. And then we're focused on the results, right? So we're focusing on those measurable improvements, not just managing the symptoms, which is a lot of what we see in traditional Western medicine. And so our signature methodology is really focused on creating a sustainable transformation. So step 1, we're going to map your symptoms. So we map all of your symptoms to really understand the patterns and the connections. And that's something that we're going to learn about. And then we test to confirm what your body is telling us, because we don't like to guess. We like to assess and test. And then step 3 is we're going to match. So we're going to match the right interventions to your specific imbalances for the maximum impact. So when we take a systematic approach like this, it ensures we're addressing your unique needs rather than just applying generic protocols. So by following this methodology, we've really helped hundreds of women finally break through and achieve these lasting, sustainable results. And so that really brings me to Ashley here. Like, I love to share Ashley's story because it perfectly illustrates what we just talked about with the gut hormone connection. So Ashley came to me after struggling for years with her weight and just honestly trying every diet you can think of. She had even turned to a GLP-1 medication that did help her lose a good bit of weight, but it honestly was at a cost that she wasn't prepared for. Her relationship with food honestly became completely dysfunctional. She wasn't hungry most days, so she'd eat like maybe 1 small meal a day, and that was it. She felt weak, she felt tired, she was frustrated, right? And what scared her the most was how much muscle she was losing. So, because she had no energy. Her clothes still didn't fit the way that she wanted because she didn't have the energy to work out or build muscle, and she couldn't do that. And she didn't recognize herself in the mirror anymore, not just physically, but also mentally. But here's really the beautiful part is that once we addressed that gut hormone connection for her and helped her understand what her body actually needed, everything shifted. So she had her energy back by week 3 of us working together, 4 inches off her waist by week 4. And within just 4 weeks, she went from barely eating to consistently fueling herself with 3 high protein meals a day. And that was somehow even with her packed schedule as a single mom, running her own business, working full time in corporate. And she actually felt like it was doable. So that's something I want to make sure that's important, is that these things have to be doable and sustainable for you. So these changes, they're not just physical. She was able to stop obsessing over food. And for the first time in years, she wasn't just surviving. She was finally able to thrive. So this is the power of understanding and working with things like your gut hormone connection instead of against it. So let's kind of summarize this first secret that I shared with you guys. Your body is constantly communicating with you through symptoms, but most of us have been taught to just suppress and treat the symptoms, right? Instead of really decoding the signals. The gut hormone connection is really going to be the foundation and the roots of almost everything. And when your gut is healthy, your hormones can function properly and sustainable weight loss really becomes possible. So this isn't about willpower, it's about physiology once again, right? When you address the underlying imbalances, the results follow naturally. And so the 3-step methodology, map, test, and then match, ensures that we're going to address your unique situation and not just apply generic protocols. So are you guys kind of starting to see why everything you tried before maybe hasn't worked long term? And you just weren't addressing the root cause of the issue. That's really what tends to be the problem here. And so what I'd love for us all to do is, if you haven't had a chance yet, open up your workbook, and I want you to go to the first tab on there. It's called the health assessment. And I'm going to give you guys, let's say 90 seconds to 2 minutes to just really go through and map out your symptoms. And then I want you guys to drop in the chat, if you feel comfortable, exactly where it said that your priority needed to lie, because that's going to really help us in this next phase. I identify where you need to place your focus first. So go ahead and take the time to do that. Open up that workbook. Go ahead and fill those out in the health assessment section. And then once you're done, let us know which one came up as your highest priority there. Take your time. Make sure that you're able to kind of fill everything out thoroughly as well. And I will be looking forward to hearing what everybody's kind of priority of dysfunction is here. That's really going to help kind of start to guide us in the right direction, and just focus on the areas we need to focus on for the people who are here today. And while you guys do that, really quick, guys, I'm just going to turn this light on because it's getting dark early here today. All right, as you guys are filtering in, okay, so we got thyroid, gut, and sex hormones, okay? Those all kind of very well interconnected and interplay, so that makes quite a bit of sense to me. Let's see what everyone else is getting. And the workbook is pinned at the top, guys, as well, if you weren't able to find the link. Gut, okay. Another gut. What else we got? Another gut. The gut tends to be a lot of the root issue. That's where we have to start for a lot of people. So doesn't surprise me. Insulin resistance, thyroid. Okay, awesome. Gut. All right, I'm going to give you all about 20 more seconds here to kind of wrap everything up. We'll see what are the last of our results, and then we'll move on to the next. Cortisol. All right, we got a cortisol. I was wondering if that one was going to pop up. We got gut and hormones. Another gut. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, awesome. Thank you guys for participating with that. That really helps. All right, and I saw another gut just pop in there. So that is perfect. So that brings us to secret number 2, which is going to be the 5-system reset protocol. So when these systems that we just talked about and that you just identified for yourselves really work together in harmony, that's when everything changes. So you see, most approaches are going to focus on one thing at a time. You fix your gut, balance your hormones, lose weight. But what I've discovered is that everything in your body is really just so interconnected that when you address all 5 key systems, really systematically, you're able to create this cascade effect that amplifies your results. So let me kind of show you what I mean here. So there are 5 key systems in our body that when they are working in harmony, they create a foundation for things like sustainable health and weight loss. So when even one of these systems is out of balance, it does affect all of the others, and it creates this cascade or domino of symptoms that seem unrelated, but they're actually very deeply connected. So these 5 systems, we just talked about them: gut health, insulin resistance, cortisol, thyroid, sex hormones. And here's the key. We know they don't work in isolation. They're kind of like a symphony orchestra. When one instrument's out of tune, the entire performance is going to suffer, right? So what is crucial to understand is the priority of dysfunction here. So not everyone needs to start with the same system. This is why a lot of generic protocols will fail. What I've discovered through working with the hundreds of women that I have is that there's something called your priority of dysfunction. And so which system is the most out of balance and affecting all of the others? For some women, it's gut health. That's the primary driver. For others, it's insulin resistance or cortisol. And so when you identify and address your priority of dysfunction first, then you're able to create that positive cascade effect that helps all of the other systems come back into balance. So this is why two women can follow the exact same protocol and get completely different results, because they have different priorities of dysfunction. So we're going to walk through each of these 5 pillars. And the first one we're going to start with is gut health, which tends to be your foundation for almost everything else. We saw a lot of gut pop up in the chat, right? Makes sense. Your gut is home to just trillions of bacteria that affect everything from your immune system to your mood to your metabolism. And so when your gut microbiome, is what we call it, is out of balance, that's what we call gut dysbiosis. And so it affects things like your ability to absorb nutrients. All day long, I like to mention, if you supplement and your gut is out of whack, you may not be absorbing any of those supplements, right? So it's important to understand this. And so when these things are out of balance, we are having effects, nutrient absorption, it's leaky gut, things like that can create inflammation throughout your entire body. And then that starts to impact things like hormone metabolism. So this is why, again, you can take all the supplements in the world, but if your gut can't absorb them properly, you're not going to see results. So this is why you can eat a perfect diet, but if your gut is inflamed, you will still struggle with weight loss. Your gut truly is honestly the foundation for everything else. And that is going to bring us to pillar number 2, which is insulin resistance. I like to call it the hidden fat loss blocker, because insulin resistance is honestly one of the most common yet underdiagnosed conditions affecting women today. I see it all day long. It tends to develop really gradually over years. And as your cells become less sensitive to insulin signals, that's when this develops. And I really wish, instead of testing fasting glucose and hemoglobin A1C all the time, we would actually check a fasting insulin level, because that will tell for a lot of people years beforehand that they're already developing insulin resistance. And so that's a little pro tip for you guys. Ask for a fasting insulin level from your doctor if they'll do it. And the reason why this matters for weight loss is that when you're insulin resistant, your body is literally programmed to just store fat, especially around your midsection. So no amount of calorie restriction or exercise is going to overcome that metabolic dysfunction. And there's also a connection to gut health, right? So an imbalanced gut microbiome can actually contribute to insulin resistance through chronic inflammation and the production of those toxins that leak into your bloodstream from the gut and interfere with insulin signaling. So this is why addressing gut health often improves insulin sensitivity as well, and why addressing insulin resistance often improves gut health. They all work in tandem. They're very intimately connected. And then, so next we're going to talk about pillar number 3, which is cortisol, right? So this is your stress response system, and I feel like cortisol gets a really bad rap a lot of the time. It's our primary stress hormone. And in our modern world, most women are dealing with chronic cortisol elevation. So this isn't just from obvious stressors like work or relationships. It's also from a lot of hidden stressors. So again, gut inflammation, blood sugar imbalances, and even a lot of over-exercising. So chronic cortisol elevation can affect all other systems, quite honestly. It disrupts your gut health. It can cause leaky gut. It can alter your gut microbiome. It contributes into insulin resistance as well. They're directly connected, but think about if you're then affecting your gut on top of that, which we know also affects insulin resistance, this all compounds. It interferes with thyroid function as well. 20% of your thyroid conversion happens in your gut. And so that's from inactive to active thyroid hormone. If that's not happening, you're going to be affected. And it also disrupts sex hormone production as well, because portions of that happen in the gut. Also, our ability to detox and get rid of estrogen happens in the gut. And that's connected to your liver as well. So all of these things, they just honestly work together so much that it's important to make sure that we're doing this properly. So this is why stress management isn't just about feeling better. It's honestly a crucial component of any successful transformation plan. And that's why that stubborn belly fat won't budge until you address things like cortisol dysfunction. So that We talked about 3. We're going to hit these last 2, which is thyroid, right? So thyroid is the next one. This is honestly like your metabolic control center. So your thyroid is literally like the gas pedal for your metabolism. So when it's functioning optimally, you have energy, your body temperature is regulated properly, and weight management is honestly relatively easy. But here's what most doctors miss is that normal, quote unquote, lab ranges for thyroid function are based on statistical averages, so not optimal function. So you can have normal thyroid labs all day long and still have subclinical hypothyroidism that's affecting your energy, your weight, and your overall well-being, right? And so quick pro tip here, optimal TSH is 1 to 1.5. If you're not in that range, then you might want to ask for further testing. And I hate so much that we only do TSH with like a reflex to T4. Like we don't look at like T4 is your inactive thyroid hormone. Who really cares about that? Quite honestly, okay, we care a little bit, but what matters is how much is getting to be active thyroid hormone or T3. And a lot of times we're not checking that. We're not checking thyroid antibodies. You know, we're not talking about your gut where 20% of that thyroid hormone conversion happens. If your gut's inflamed or imbalanced, you can't properly convert that. Then you end up with symptoms of hypothyroidism and your labs will still look normal. So these are all things that we want to make sure that we're considering in the process. And so the next thing we're going to talk about in the last pillar really here is the sex hormones. And so really these are the things you want to be in balance for that ultimate vitality. So we know we have estrogen, progesterone, testosterone. They all play really crucial roles in women's health, men's health, and it affects everything from your mood, your energy, your body composition, your libido, right? So let's talk about estrogen dominance first. So having too much estrogen relative to progesterone is honestly incredibly common, and it can cause things like weight gain, mood swings, increased PMS symptoms, lots of swelling as well. And then we talk about progesterone, which has kind of an opposite effect. It's very calming. It helps with sleep, stress management. And when progesterone is low, you might actually feel anxious. So for some women, that might be their only symptom. And they might have trouble sleeping. They might struggle with stress eating as well. So we start to see how these things can be very interconnected. And yes, when we talk about testosterone, women do need testosterone too. It is crucial for muscle mass. It's crucial for your energy. It's crucial for having motivation. So if you have low testosterone, which for a lot of women that I see, low estrogen, low progesterone, low testosterone, any of those being low tends to come from, we'll go back in the cascade, stress causing adrenal issues. And adrenal glands actually make your precursors for estrogen and testosterone. So when your adrenal glands burn out because they've been secreting all this cortisol all day long because you're stressed AF, then that's how we end up with a lot of these issues. And so testosterone's low. We don't have much motivation to then work out or do all of these other things. And so it makes it almost impossible to really build or maintain muscle no matter how much you exercise. So the key here is balance, and that balance is affected by all these other systems we've discussed, right? So that really tells us about how all of these are so interconnected. So what's really crucial to understand is that disruption in one affects all of the others. So it's going to create this cascade of symptoms. They seem unrelated, but they're actually very deeply connected. So for example, chronic stress elevates your cortisol. This then disrupts your gut health, which then impairs your nutrient absorption, which then affects your thyroid function, which then disrupts your sex hormone production, which creates and increases insulin resistance, which then creates more inflammation, which elevates cortisol even more. And then we end up in this vicious cycle that keeps us stuck no matter how hard you try with diet and exercise alone, right? So hopefully we're starting to see how all of these things, they work together, right? Hand in hand. But when you're able to really address these systems systematically in the right order for your body, you can create a really positive cascade effect that's going to amplify your results. And so that really brings me to Stephanie's story that I like to share, and it perfectly demonstrates the power of like a systematic methodology and what we utilize. So Stephanie is a physical therapist in the Army, so she knew how to train, she knew how to eat, or at least she thought she did, right? And for years, she was doing everything quote unquote right. She was training like 5 to 6 times a week. She was eating clean. She stayed consistent. But despite all of that, literally the scale just kept going up for her. And so she even at one point failed the physical fitness portion of her Army fitness test in terms of measurements. And so that's really devastating, obviously, for someone whose career depends on physical fitness. So this is honestly exactly why we don't guess, we test. So when we ran her labs, we found early signs of subclinical hypothyroidism and autoimmune dysfunction. And those were things that weren't showing up on standard military medical screenings. So by applying our methodology and really mapping her symptoms, testing to confirm the root causes, and then matching the right interventions, she saw incredible results, right? She was finally able to lose weight. So she was down 10 pounds in just 8 weeks. Her thyroid issue was addressed. But the most incredible part was that by week 12, actually, she hit her goal weight. And then she PR'd every single segment of her Army fitness test after literally just failing months before. So she definitely came back stronger, faster, and leaner, right? But this is honestly what happens when you stop guessing and you start working with precision. So her success really demonstrates that even when you think you're doing everything quote unquote right, there might be some hidden imbalances that we just need to address systematically. So let's really summarize the secret number 2 that we talked about here, right? So all 5 systems, gut health, insulin resistance, cortisol, thyroid, and sex hormones, they all are very interconnected. So disruption in one is going to affect all of the others and create these really cascading symptoms. So your priority of dysfunction, like we talked about, determines which system to address first for maximum impact and sustainable results. So this is why generic protocols fail. They don't account for your unique situation. So addressing systems in the right order really creates a positive cascade effect that's going to amplify your transformation. So we end up, instead of fighting against your body, we're working with it. So that's what a systematic approach does for women like Stephanie, who can finally break through those plateaus that really just seemed impossible to overcome at a certain point. So let's finish off with secret number 3 here, right? So your personalized transformation roadmap. So let's put all the pieces of the puzzle together here. So I'm going to give you a little more idea of what we do, which is we don't like to do any more guessing, no more generic protocols. We're just focused on results. So you see everything that we've talked about tonight, the gut hormone connection, the 5-system reset protocol, it all comes together in creating a really completely customized transformation plan that's based on your unique biology, your lifestyle, and your goals. So that's where the magic happens. This is where transformation becomes inevitable instead of hopeful based on somebody else's plan or standard protocol that they just threw at you, right? So this all starts with what I like to call a comprehensive health blueprint. So this isn't your typical health questionnaire that asks you to rate your energy from 1 to 10, right? This is an in-depth assessment that really maps your symptoms across all body systems. It analyzes your detailed health history, and it evaluates your current lifestyle and nutrition patterns. So we're looking for patterns and connections that honestly most practitioners miss. So we're identifying your unique priority of dysfunction. We're understanding not just what's happening in your body, but why it's happening. You know, like way too often I feel like women are like, well, I'm anemic or I'm iron deficient, so they just put me on iron. I'm like, did they ever ask why you're iron deficient to begin with? Did they ever ask why your vitamin D is low to begin with? There's probably something deeper going on underneath the surface that triggered that to begin with. So we're looking and digging deeper. And this blueprint becomes a foundation for everything we do moving forward. And then we're going to, based on that, create your your complete, let's say, personalized protocol. So this isn't a generic meal plan or a generic workout routine. Right? We want to really completely customize a roadmap that addresses your specific imbalances in the right order for your body. So we want to make sure your nutrition plan includes macro breakdowns, the functional foods that you need to include in your diet. Maybe you need to help your liver detoxing out estrogen, and there's specific foods that you need to be utilizing for that. Your workout program is designed to make sure we're supporting your hormonal health and not working against it. No one should be doing HIIT all week long, more than likely, right? So like we want to make sure, and for some women, we say stop altogether because their body is stressed out and we're just inflaming the system more. So it's important to understand how all of this is working and give your body a chance to heal. We also want to make sure that your supplement strategy is targeted to fill your specific gaps. So not just taking a bunch of random supplements that everyone else is taking. Everything really should be customized to your unique physiology and your lifestyle, because what works for your friend or your sister might not work for you. I hope we've learned that by this point, right? So this is what really makes this approach so powerful, is that it's customized to your needs. So this isn't going to be a one-size-fits-all program. And that's what's important to understand as you start to put this together for yourself, or we do it for you, that when everyone gets the same meal plan and the same workout routine, that we just learned that that doesn't work, right? Everyone's going to get different results, if any. And every element needs to be customized based on your comprehensive assessment to make sure we get maximum results in the minimum time. So when you're working with your body's unique needs instead of against them, transformation no longer has to be a struggle. It becomes more of this natural process. And a really beautiful example of a customized plan and how it can work with you is Donica here. So this illustrates a lot of resilience and progress that's possible even when you're facing challenges. So she was able to make a lot of progress despite a back injury. And it shows that healing is possible even when life throws you curveballs, right? So she had a really significant back injury. Like literally all we could do is customize chair workouts for her, but we really maximized things like nutrition. And her journey reminds us that progress isn't always linear, but with the right support and understanding of your body, you can really continue to make progress and move forward. So even if the circumstances aren't perfect, when you have a customized approach that adapts to your specific situation, you can still achieve these really incredible results. So this is the power of really having a truly personalized transformation roadmap. I honestly feel like that's where the magic is. And so let me kind of summarize secret number 3 for you. So we know that generic protocols fail because they don't account for your unique biology, your lifestyle, and your circumstances. So what works for someone else might not work for you. A comprehensive health blueprint is really needed to identify your specific patterns, your imbalances, and your priority of dysfunction and create the foundation for your personalized approach. So your complete personalized protocol is going to address your specific needs with customized nutrition, customized exercise, and supplement strategies that work with your body, not against it. So when everything is tailored to your unique situation, transformation again becomes inevitable instead of just hopeful. That's what I always like to say. So let's recap all 3 secrets here. So the 3 secrets to the whole body reset. So we have secret number 1, we need to decode our body's hidden signals. So your symptoms, they're messages, they are not problems to suppress, and especially not to just suppress with a bunch of medications. So when you learn to decode the signals, you can address the root causes instead of just managing the symptoms. Secret number 2, we need to use our 5-system reset protocol. All 5 systems are interconnected. So when you address them systematically in the right order for your body, you create this really positive cascade effect that amplifies your results, right? And then secret number 3, your personalized transformation roadmap. Generic protocols fail, right? When everything is customized to your unique biology and lifestyle, that's when transformation really becomes inevitable. So these 3 secrets really work together to create the complete system that has helped hundreds of women finally achieve the sustainable, and I want to really highlight that word, sustainable transformation they've been searching for. So we don't do quick fixes and yo-yo diets and things like that, right? That tends to cause more harm than good in the long term. It may get us results for a while, but then what happens down the line? We never know what to do next, right? So we want to make sure we're doing things that work with our biology, with our lifestyle, not against them. So now let me kind of show you how to get started with this exact type of system. But before I do that, let me share Jerica's story really quickly, which is honestly a fantastic example of addressing a very common and frustrating symptom, which is bloating, right? So Jerica was tired of the discomfort, the unpredictability of chronic bloating. She honestly never knew when it would hit, and it was affecting things like her confidence, her daily routine, right? So we implemented a targeted approach based on her specific imbalances, right? Customized plan, and she was able to experience really rapid relief. Her bloating was gone in just 4 weeks, as you can see here, and her routine and her confidence was finally able to be locked in. So this highlights that when you get to the root of the issue, not only do your physical symptoms improve, but there's a really profound impact on things like just your everyday routine and your confidence levels. So it's really more about feeling good in your skin again. And that's what's possible when you do have the right approach. Now, let me ask you a question, and I want you to really think about this. If you could have a clear, personalized plan to rebalance your hormones, to heal your gut, and finally lose fat sustainably, I'd just like to hear, would that be worth 30 days, let's say, a focused effort? So I'm not talking about another generic diet or exercise program. I'm talking about if you had a completely personalized approach based on your physiology, addressing your specific imbalances with expert guidance every step of the way, would that be worth 30 days of your life to finally feel like yourself again? If you feel that way, and you feel like that would be worth it, I'd love for you guys to drop a 1 in the chat so that I know you're still with me as well. So do we feel like that would be worth it? 30 days of effort. Waiting. No one wants to feel better? Okay, there we go. Thank you, Gerald. Okay, there we go. Now we got some people popping in. I think there's a little bit of a delay here because now I see all you guys popping in. Yes, with exclamation marks. Love that. Okay, awesome. Yes. It's so totally worth it. It makes all the difference. So I want to tell you something though. What I know about the women who get the best results. So they understand that transformation does require investment. I'm not just talking financial investment, but investment of time, energy, and commitment, right? They understand that 30 days of focused effort with the right plan is better than 30 months of trial and error with the wrong approach, right? They understand that working with your body's unique needs rather than against them makes all the difference. So I'll ask again, would having a clear, personalized roadmap be worth 30 days of focused effort? I think so, right? And I think you guys have made that clear in the chat. So what I want to get to before we kind of dive in a little further into that is that in my experience, there's really two types of people attending trainings like this. So we talked about it kind of at the beginning. We got our information gatherers. They keep learning. We tend to delay decisions. And I'm putting myself in this category because I used to be there. And we tend to stay stuck in trial and error. We have really great intentions, but we never actually implement what we learn. And that's what I was kind of stuck in, that paralysis by analysis. That's what it is. And then we have action takers, right? So they decide, they get support, they move faster, they get expert feedback. They understand that knowledge without implementation is literally just entertainment, is what I like to call it, right? You got all the knowledge, it just entertains your brain, but we're not implementing it or seeing any progress. So I want you to ask yourself, honestly, which one are you? Because what you decide tonight will really determine whether you're in the same place 6 months from now, like we talked about at the beginning, or whether you're living in a completely transformed body with completely different energy levels. So from here, you really do have two paths, right? So path one, you figure it out alone. Totally cool. That's totally fine. We do tend to continue with some level of confusion over where to start. We deal with plateaus. They can last weeks to months. We keep spending money and time on plans that just don't fit our physiology, right? Or path number two, we can work together. We can get targeted labs, a tailored plan. We can receive weekly adjustments for fast feedback. We can follow clear milestones over 16 weeks guided by experts, right? So the choice is yours, but let me kind of show you what path number two looks like for a second. So, and I'm really excited to introduce this is we have something brand new that literally I'm rolling out to you guys, and it is the whole body reset intensive. So I'm really excited to share this with you all, but this is your opportunity, honestly, to apply these 3 secrets with my direct guidance. So to get the complete system that creates lasting transformation, you have it all customized specifically for your physiology. And just know that this isn't just another program. This is the same methodology I use with my high-level one-on-one clients, and it's adapted into an intensive format that makes it more accessible to more women who need it. And that has been my goal and my desire for literally so long. So are you guys ready to finally get the results that you deserve? I hope you are. I hope you all are here. So what will this do for you? What will the whole body reset intensive do? First, you're going to get a personalized plan that's tailored to your unique physiology. So no more guessing about what your body needs. No more trial and error with these generic protocols. Secondly, you're going to receive expert guidance. You'll have weekly support, weekly accountability. You won't be doing this alone. You'll have my team and me supporting you literally every step of the way. And third, you'll be following a really proven system based on the same methodology that's helped hundreds of women achieve the sustainable transformations I've showed you today. So this isn't experimental. This is literally proven. And when you combine these 3 elements together, personalized approach, expert guidance, and proven system, again, transformation becomes inevitable. So this is the fun part. So here's everything you'll get to start creating transformations like this today. Okay, so let's dive in. So the first thing that you're going to get is what we talked about, my comprehensive health blueprint and questionnaire. Literally $497 worth of value here. This is the same in-depth assessment I use with my one-on-one clients to identify your unique patterns, your primary dysfunctions. We're talking about extensive symptom mapping across all body systems and a detailed health history analysis and current lifestyle and nutrition evaluation. So this isn't a generic questionnaire. This is, sorry, I don't know why that hopped there. This is a comprehensive blueprint that reveals exactly what's happening in your body and why, all right? So the next thing that you're going to get is a 30-day personalized action plan. Literally, this costs usually $797. Again, tech is really messing with me today, y'all. So your complete roadmap that you're going to get here is for transformation. It's customized to your unique physiology, your lifestyle. This includes your nutrition plan, macro breakdowns, functional foods specifically chosen for your needs. You get a comprehensive workout program with an exercise library that's designed to support your hormonal health. And you're getting your complete supplement strategy that's targeting your specific imbalances. Everything is personalized to you, okay? Want to be very clear about that. This is not a generic program. And then the third thing you're going to get are these weekly accountability and check-ins. So this is, and this keeps happening, tech. This is where the magic happens, y'all. So you'll stay on track because you're going to have consistent feedback. You're going to have consistent adjustments to maximize your results. You get weekly progress tracking. It ensures we're monitoring your transformation literally every step of the way. You get troubleshooting support, means you're never stuck not knowing what to do next. And the momentum maintenance keeps you moving forward even when life gets challenging, right? So this ongoing support is what really separates, I feel, the successful transformations from failed attempts. And so that brings us to the fourth thing you guys are going to get, which is a group call midway through with myself, Dr. Stephanie, right? So halfway through your program, you're going to get personalized optimization guidance directly from me to really accelerate your results. So this is a live Q&A session. It allows you to troubleshoot, the most common challenges, get advanced strategies for your specific situation, and ensure you're maximizing your transformation. So this is your opportunity to get direct access to me and my expertise as well. The next thing you're going to get is a plan review call. So at the end of your 30 days or our 30 days together, we ensure you have a clear roadmap to continue your progress. So this includes a comprehensive results assessment, next steps planning, and options for ongoing support, because transformation doesn't end after 30 days. We all know that, right? This is what needs to set you up for the long-term success. We need a maintenance plan. And I always like to pull out the statistic. If you don't have a maintenance plan, literally 94% of people who make progress with their health or lose weight, they reverse all that progress within 1 to 5 years of doing that. So it's really important that we always have a maintenance plan. I will never create a program that does not have that. So let me share Judy's incredible story in the midst of all this, because it shows how all of these things work together and that this is possible at any stage of life, regardless of your daily demands. So Judy's a stay-at-home grandma, 2 twin boys, and she was able to literally drop 50 pounds. She's at 50 pounds lost now, y'all. So this says 30, but this isn't just about the number on the scale. She reclaimed her energy, her vitality, and the ability to fully, honestly engage with life again, even with the busy schedule of a grandma. So when I spoke with Judy the other day, she was so excited to share with me that she is now up to an amazing 50 pounds lost, and she is no longer a diabetic, right? So she has completely reversed her insulin resistance. So her transformation honestly inspires me every day. And I feel like her success is a really powerful reminder that if you have the right guidance, real results are achievable, and it doesn't matter what stage of life you're at, right? So let's kind of add up the value that we're at so far here, right? So we've got your comprehensive health blueprint and questionnaire, $997 value. 30-day personalized action plan, $797. Weekly accountability and check-ins, that's worth $597. A midway group call with me, $197. And you get your plan review call, that roadmap forward, $297 for a total value of $2,885. But that's not all you're getting, y'all. It gets even better, because I want to make sure you literally have everything you need for success. So I'm going to include 3 incredible bonuses that will accelerate your results even further. So bonus number 1, you're going to get my 5-pillar quick start guide. This is a very comprehensive guide that will help you really jumpstart your transformation and show you exactly how to address each of the 5 pillars I mentioned in the right order. So no more confusion about where to start. This guide will give you the roadmap to begin optimizing all 5 systems immediately. And then your bonus number 2 that you're going to get is my functional foods library. So that's worth $197. This is literally our complete database of functional foods. It's organized by their specific benefits for gut health, for hormone balance, for fat loss. And let me be clear, this is not just a list of healthy foods. This is literally a targeted library showing you exactly which foods support which systems, so you can make really strategic choices that will accelerate your results. And then bonus number 3, I'm throwing in Clarity Circle community access. So this is literally our private community. So excited about this for y'all, but it's our private community of women who are on the same journey. So you get direct access to our team with weekly office hours or coaches corner for even more guidance, to ask your questions, to get support. This community support is really invaluable as you go through a process like this. So you'll be surrounded by women who understand exactly what you're going through and are committed to the exact same transformation that you are as well. So now let's really add up everything that you guys are getting here. So we were previously at 2,800. Now we've got our bonuses added in here, our 5-pillar quick start guide, our functional foods library, our Clarity Circle community access for a total value of $3,376. But you're not going to pay anywhere near that amount. Let me be really clear. I said I wanted to make this accessible, right? So I want to ask you something first, though. If all this did was finally just give you a clear understanding of why your body was struggling, would it be worth it? If all this did was help you finally break through those plateaus and start seeing results within weeks, like, would that be worth it for you? And if all this did was provide you with a simple personalized plan that fits your unique physiology that you can take with you for life, would that be worth it? Of course it would, but you're going to get so much more than that. And so that's the amazing part of all this. And I really, when I was creating this program, I had 2 choices, right? My first option, I could offer my complete functional fat loss RX program. It costs $4,900 to work with me one-on-one, and it requires a lot of significant one-on-one time and resources that, of my team, of myself, and we're literally in the trenches with you working one-on-one. My second option was to create a more accessible version that delivers literally the same core methodology at a fraction of the cost. So I chose to create an option that really makes this transformation accessible to more women who need it, because I just kept hearing that over and over. And that's my goal, is to get this to as many women as possible. So because I believe every woman deserves to feel amazing in her body, regardless of her budget, right? And so the question really becomes, how much, right? What's a personalized reset plan like this worth to you? How much would you pay to finally understand your body, to have a clear path forward, to feel like yourself again? How much would you pay to have a personalized transformation plan that actually works with your unique physiology instead of against it? And what I want you to think about is really this way. If you were able to really lose those stubborn 10 to 15 pounds, sorry, things are skipping, that have been bothering you for years, would it make sense to even invest just $1,500 one time to get a personalized plan that's based on your unique physiology? One that you have, after that, the blueprint for life. You'll understand your body in a way you honestly never have before. You'll know exactly what works for you and what doesn't. And that knowledge is honestly priceless. My signature functional fat loss RX program, like I said, is $4,900. But today you can get the same core methodology, just a fraction of the price and the investment. You're getting the same systematic approach, the same personalized assessment, the same expert guidance, just in a more accessible format. So that's it. I want you guys to be able to get started now for literally just $497. Okay, that's it. $497 for everything I just showed you. For a total value of $3,376, you pay just $497 when you enroll today. All right. So I would love to see you guys on the other side of this. But I do want to kind of talk a little bit more, and I'm going to answer your questions as well. I do want to clarify that that's less than what most people spend on supplements that don't work, or gym memberships that they don't use, or generic programs that don't fit their physiology. So this is your opportunity to finally invest in something that will actually work. But you must act now, guys. Like we talked about at the beginning, I'm looking for doers. I'm looking for action takers. There are limited spots available because this is a personalized program, right? That's what you want. I can only work with a certain number of women at a time to make sure everyone gets the attention that they deserve. And these bonuses, they're only available for webinar attendees. So I'm so glad you guys are here today. And after tonight, though, they are going to be gone. And so this special webinar price, it actually increases to $997 after this offer expires. So this is truly a limited time opportunity that I'm really excited to roll out to you guys. Now, I know some of you also might have some concerns as well. And so my personal guarantee to you is that if you complete the comprehensive health blueprint, you follow the plan, and you don't feel you have a clear understanding of your body and a personalized path forward, I'll refund your investment in full. That's how much I believe in what we do and the processes and the programs. I honestly have never had anyone take me up on any of that, but I always make it very clear that if I'm not giving you and providing you with what I said I would, then I don't deserve your money, right? So I want to be very clear about that. I do this to help. I don't do this for the money, but obviously I have to pay my team, and I have to pay for time and energy, and we know we take money to live. So that is really what we're looking forward to here, is just helping you heal. And so the other thing I want to address is that I'm sure there's some pretty concerns, some worries. And the three most common ones that I've heard are really like, I just need more time, especially for us busy women. I understand, but here's the thing. We build this program around your life with small weekly steps. You don't need to overhaul everything at once. This is not one of those like 30-day challenges, go all out and like work out 6 days a week. Like, we don't do that here. So we're never going to tell you to overhaul everything at once. And you may also be saying, I've tried before. This is different because we're going to assess first. We like to test first. Then we adjust weekly so that you don't stall. We're monitoring your progress and making adjustments in real time. You may also be asking, will this actually work for me? These are not generic plans, okay? These are personalized protocols. You will know your clear next steps before you even begin, because everything is customized to your unique situation. So let me also talk about, because you may be thinking, well, I can just kind of try to do this on my own, right? And here's why getting guidance beats trying to do this yourself. You totally can do it on your own, but your body signals do shift weekly. So you get these small changes in your gut hormone signals, which are going to alter things like your energy, your hunger, your sleep, your mood. And if you don't have that expert guidance, you might miss these really subtle but important changes. And so implementation is where most people struggle, right? We close that gap with things like testing, coaching, fast feedback. So you're just never left wondering if you're doing things right. So I want to remind you that this is about working smarter, not harder, right? And let me also share with you the real cost here, which is the cost of waiting. So we have 6 more months of continued guessing. That means more fatigue, more weight gain, lower mood. Every day you wait is another day of feeling frustrated in your body. So these are really the hidden costs to not addressing this. We have supplements that don't fit our physiology that we're spending all this money on. We have piling medical bills from treating symptoms instead of addressing root causes. And each week without a clear plan is another week of missed opportunities for feedback and adjustment. The cost of waiting is always higher than the cost of taking action. And so I want to be very clear about that. I see that literally every shift I work in the ER. Please don't wait, y'all. Life is too short. And I'm so passionate about this because I have seen it time and time again. When you work in the ER, there's just no second guessing it. And I don't want you to put it off another day. So let's remind ourselves of really what that cost is. So let me ask you, really, are you ready to transform your health and just finally feel like yourself again? Are you ready to stop guessing and start getting results? Are you ready to work with your body instead of against it? If the answer is yes, then this is honestly your moment. You can get started now for literally just $497 today. So remember, this is a limited time offer for webinar attendees only. And after tonight, this program will be $997 and the bonuses will no longer be available. So I don't want you to let this opportunity pass you by. Your future self will thank you for taking action today. And so before we get to the Q&A, I did just want to share a few more powerful success stories. The link is in the chat if you guys want to take advantage while we have this limited time offer going on. But I love to share Dina's success story. This is the power of precise data-driven intervention. So she was really looking to make body comp changes, right? And address her unique physiology. She was able to achieve these remarkable results, 4 inches down in her waist in just 4 weeks. This isn't just about weight. I could tell you how much weight she lost too, but her inches were transformative in her waist. It's about reducing inflammation. It's about improving hormonal balance. It's about optimizing body composition, which are all interconnected with things like gut health. So this is what's possible when you have the right approach that's really tailored to your specific needs. And then we have people like Rachel. So she dropped 25 pounds in just 16 weeks. Newly postpartum mom, working 12-hour shifts. If she can achieve these results while dealing with the demands of being a new mom, working these exhausting 12-hour shifts that I know all too well as a nurse, just imagine what's possible for you. This really just demonstrates that our approach works with even the most challenging circumstances because it's designed to work with your life, not against it, right? And then lastly, we have Carly. And so Carly was down 7 inches in 8 weeks and this was lost sustainably, right? Also 7 inches in 8 weeks, that's nearly an inch per week of sustainable fat loss. So this speaks to the effectiveness of a targeted approach that really addresses the root causes of stubborn fat, inflammation, and her success is really a testament to the power of consistent action guided by expert insights, personalized plan. And, like I could honestly talk all day about the incredible transformations that we've witnessed, but sometimes hearing it directly from the women themselves is kind of also the most impactful. So I'd love to share just a few powerful stories here. So we have Brittany, who was able to finally get pregnant after struggling on her own and was starting to consider IVF. When you address the root causes of hormonal imbalance, amazing things become possible. We have Kishana, who's a nurse working night shifts. She was struggling to prioritize herself, manage her stress load. We uncovered a huge culprit for her, Hashimoto's, right? No one had caught this so far. And I just heard today, from her coach, Lindsay, that she's already down 20 pounds since we started working together less than 10 weeks ago. So amazing things. Catherine, mom to a young son, I think he's 3, finally made herself a priority and also just hit 20 pounds down. She was able to fit back literally into her wedding dress that she bought during COVID that she was never able to wear in just 12 weeks, despite huge major personal life events she had going on. And the last person I'm going to talk to you guys about is Michelle. So she had literally tried everything. She felt like she had failed so many times. She honestly didn't believe change was even possible anymore. She struggled with emotional eating. She found herself over 300 pounds with a new diabetes diagnosis. And by the time she started working with us, she was honestly just so exhausted and so skeptical. But we took a very mindset first approach, made her feel seen, feel safe. And we moved things slowly, doing things like couch weights. Again, this is a customized plan to you. And in just 12 weeks, she dropped out of the 300s, a number she hadn't seen in years. She zipped up a raincoat she hadn't been able to wear in over 2 years. But more than the scale, it's the way that she feels that's different. She has hope again. She trusts herself again. And these are real women getting real results because they finally have an approach that works with their bodies instead of against them. And so we're going to finish up with that, y'all. Obviously, if you have any questions about what I just went through, please let me know. If you have anything else in terms of Q&A, I'd love to now answer your questions specifically as well. So let's dive in. If you guys have any, I'm going to check out if you guys have dropped some in the chat while I've been going on. All right, so let's take a look here. Q&A. All right. So you take on parasites in the body and how to address. So there's a very systematic protocol that you can follow for parasites, all right? And I think something that is missed a ton is that you can't just go straight to killing the parasites, unlike what social media or a lot of places might tell you. So don't just go doing a parasite cleansing protocol, y'all, please. You need to heal your lining of your gut first. If you're not healing the lining of your gut and you still have leaky gut going on, it doesn't matter if you kill the parasites all day long. If you still have things leaking in and out of your gut and causing inflammation, then you can continue to just have recurrent issues. So I want to be very clear about that needs to be an option. And then let's see, how to find out if one has parasites in the body. So the best test, there's 2 tests I love for that, which are GI maps and gut zoomers. So gut zoomers are going to be even more accurate than GI maps because they actually have beads in them that break down the biofilms of things like bacteria so that you can just get more accurate results and it gives you a little bit more information. So I love the gut zoomer. You can get that through Vibrant Wellness. We can order it for you as well if you're interested. And then the GI map, we also do those. And I do have a lab shop where you guys can go to get your labs done. It does include my basic interpretation. So if you're ever interested in that, just let me know. Also, is there a payment plan? So right now we don't have a payment plan option for this. Like I said, this is new thing that we're just rolling out, but I'm happy to try to figure out if there's a way that we can work with you. We do have an option where we could go through like a firm or something like that, if that might work better for you, and we can send you a link for that. So just if my team can drop a link in the or our email in the chat so that you can reach out and we can make sure we get that to you if that's something that you're interested in. And then do you have to do labs? So we're not including labs as in this program. What I've learned over the years is that I can get plenty of information from how extensive our questionnaire is to start to pinpoint a ton of things that we need to get going in that first 30 days to really start to make significant progress. Now, in our one-on-one program, the Functional Fat Loss RX, that is literally why a lot of the reason why it costs so much is that we do over 100 plus labs on every woman that we work with. And so there is an opportunity if you guys are interested in that as well. And we're happy to chat with you about that, but that does include all of the labs, all of the testing. And so we make sure we're getting everything A to Z there. Okay, 30 days is all the time you get in the program. Yes, for the $497 offer, it is 30 days. Now there are options to continue with ongoing support thereafter. We're happy to discuss those options with you. We never want to leave anyone hanging on their journey. And most of the time we find that women get in with us, even in our one-on-one program, and they want to continue because they love the results you're getting. They love the convenience of, having your workout plans done for you, having your meal plans done for you, having the check-ins, the accountability, someone to really make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do, and then access to our awesome app as well. During this time, remember, you do get the Clarity Circle access too, so you're definitely able to continue with your membership there. So you have those weekly office hours. You can submit questions ahead of time. You can ask questions there of my coaching team. I pop in there usually about once a month as well and host a call. So you have options to all of those things to continue to get support long-term, even at a very affordable rate, okay? Will you get the blood work done, and is it included in the price? So the blood work is not included in the $497 price because, as I just said, we're not doing that for this program. But for our $4,900 program, yes, it includes all of the lab testing. Do you need to get labs done to tailor the program to you? Typical cost. I think I just answered that. If I didn't, please let me know. But the Comprehensive Health Blueprint, like I said, it is not just a form or like your standard questionnaire. Like literally the things that we can learn from that point us in a very clear direction. So even like while we're waiting for our one-on-one clients to get their labs back, we start going to work. We start taking action. We start fixing those foundational things that get them feeling better and get them making progress quickly. And so a lot of those results you saw were before we even had all of their lab tests back. Then we are just literally optimizing from there. Like it literally just accelerates the trajectory even more because we can tailor the plan and the protocol even more from there. Can you make 2 payments of $250? I'm definitely open to discussing that. Okay, I see you dropped your email. So we'll reach out to you, Basima. Definitely would love to help you figure out how to make this work for you. Like I said, I want to make this as accessible to everyone as possible. Let's see if you have any other questions in the chat here. Does anyone else have questions either about the offer, about the program, about your general health, your specific health, anything that I can help answer for you guys? Let's see if we got any other questions popping in. Yeah, and a lot of this time we're spending for a lot of women, so I know a lot of you mentioned like gut being your priority of dysfunction. That's usually where we have to do a lot of beginner work. We start from really, again, like I talked about that priority of dysfunction, we have a secondary priority of dysfunction, which is more like a top-down approach where we're looking at, do you have oral tolerance in your mouth? Are you making enough saliva to then digest your food properly, to then go down into your gut and actually have enough stomach acid? Do you have enough stomach acid? We have very great home tests that we can do for that, that you can do with just literally things you can get from the grocery store, that we have all of our women do so that we know, do you have enough stomach acid to absorb your supplements, to absorb your nutrients from your food? Or do we need to start fixing that issue first? Because as you can see, if we don't have that, then everything cascades out from there, right? So these are a lot of the things that we're going to be doing with y'all in the $497 program. Is we're laying that foundation, and we're making sure that we hit all of these bottom of the pyramid things, so that then we can start to work on issues like your liver, your detox systems, your lymphatic drainage, gut repair. I'm going to tell you these specific supplements you need if gut is an issue, so that we know exactly how to repair your gut lining, what that protocol needs to look like. And again, the plan moving forward. So it's not like I'm leaving you hanging after the 30 days. So I want to make sure that that's really clear for you guys as well. Again, like I said, I always want you guys to have a long-term plan and a roadmap to move forward with. All right, awesome. Okay, well, I'm going to see if anybody else has any questions. I'm going to hang around for about another 5 minutes or so. If anyone has any questions and wants to let me know your thoughts, I'd love to get your feedback as well. If there's anything that you wished you had learned about more, because hopefully hope to do these again in the future. Oh, okay, I got another question. Does the program give meal plans and how much nutrients one may need? For example, the amount of protein needed daily. Yes. So we're going to give you your full personalized plan. So that includes your macronutrients, the full breakdown of what that needs to look like. And you're going to get access to actually the same app that our one-on-one clients use. So you guys will get in there. You'll be able to access, and essentially we'll tell you exactly what to do in terms of a workout plan. We'll assign that to you as well. We'll make sure it's customized to you and your unique needs. And then in terms of the nutrients, nutrition, you'll be able to log your foods in there as well. And then my coaching staff, myself, will give you feedback on any areas that you can improve. And then also, again, you'll get that full roadmap and that protocol to move forward with. Any other questions? All right, y'all. Well, I'll keep hanging out here for a little bit longer. If you guys have any other questions that kind of pop up, we've only got a couple more minutes before we kind of shut everything down and the offer goes away. After that, it is $997. Oh, I did forget. You guys are here until the end. I do need to drop your freebies. So let me make sure that let me share that with y'all. Perfect. Okay. All right, so you guys can grab your freebies there. So make sure that you take advantage of that. I want to make sure I delivered on what I told you guys. Don't forget, you do have the 100% money back guarantee. So if you don't feel like we're giving you the value of $400, I would say $1,000, double that, then again, like I said, I don't deserve your money at that point. And this is your health we're talking about. So I take it very seriously. So let me know if you guys have any other questions before we kind of wrap up everything here. How soon should we expect to hear back if we decide to get the program? So yes, great question, Dee. So if we move forward, we are going to set up your first call with us. We call it your strategy call within the next 3 days. So we're getting that set up. We're getting rocking and rolling and going. So you're going to get an email right away with details of how to set that up on the calendar. You could set it up as soon as tomorrow. And then we're going to make sure we get all the information that we need from you. We're going to make sure you know your clear next steps, how to fill out the comprehensive health blueprint. And then we're going to get to work on your 30-day protocol so that you have that ready for the time of when you're going to start. So we're going to put you through an initial onboarding week. That's when we're having you do some of those home tests, looking at your stomach acid levels and those sorts of things so we can add that to your protocol. And then the next week, we're going to kick things off and we're going to start off. You're going to get a full 4 weeks of coaching, accountability, implementing your nutrition plan, your supplement plan, and your workout strategy. So hopefully that answers your question. So essentially you'll be with us for the next, I say 30 days, but it's really 5 weeks because we added on a bonus onboarding week for y'all. So instead of 4 weeks, it's 5. So yeah, you're getting a lot more time. And then, like I said, you have tons of options to continue with us afterwards if you want some more support. All right. Awesome. All right. So I'm going to leave this here for just a couple more minutes for any kind of last minute folks who want to take advantage And then, like I said, we will be in touch as soon as you guys move forward, and you'll get that email. Make sure you set your call up right away so that we can get you going and get your plan to you as soon as possible. So we're excited to get everyone going in the program and get everyone seeing amazing results and feeling better, just like our one-on-one clients. So really excited for everyone who's going to be taking part. Where do we go to get the bonus? So it should have dropped in the chat. I shared the Whole Body Reset Masterclass freebies. It should be a PDF that you open, and then there's clickable links in there so that you can access each of those freebies. Let me know if that's not working for you. If it is working for you, let me know. Anyone else get the freebies okay? Just want to make sure I deliver on my word, because it should have dropped in there. But as we see, technology has not been working in my favor as of late. Okay, let me stop sharing and let me then try to share it again. And it might be, Basima, because you're in the, are you still in the Q&A? No, you guys can't see it either? Well, that's odd. I told you tech has not been on my side today. Okay. Try this again. If that's not working, then I'll make sure that we email them out for y'all specifically who were here. We can tell it tracks everything. So I'll make sure that y'all get it if it's still not showing up, but I don't know why it's not showing up. Because the last time we did a webinar, which wasn't that long ago on a different topic, it worked just fine. So, Oh, okay. So Gail said you have to hit file and then download it. It's at the bottom of the page under file. Sorry, I've never been on the other side of it to know what it looks like. So thank you for helping, Gail. Thank you for helping, Dee. I really appreciate that. Let me know if that works. All right, no problem, Libby. Hope to see you on the other side. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to reach out, email, phone. Have a great rest of your evening. It's in files next to offer. Anybody see that? Okay, Basima said it worked. Wonderful. You're very welcome. Thank Gail and Dee, because I don't think I was much help there. But I appreciate y'all so much. I am in file and still do not see anything to download. Huh. Let's see. Okay. So my team just dropped the link. They're trying to help me out because I'm on the struggle bus with tech today. There you go. You guys got the link there. So we made a way. We've been working around all the technical issues today, guys. It's been a whole thing. Tech is fun. Technology. Libby, did you see the link in the chat? If you go over from Q&A to the chat, we dropped the link there for you. Can you let me know if you can access it there? And then you should be able to click on the links in there. It's a Google Drive link. Oh, we dropped it in the Q&A too for you. All right, so hopefully we got it there. And it looks like everyone else got it as well. So, yeah. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to working with all the women who have taken the leap and moved forward with the Whole Body Reset Intensive. I'm looking forward to looking at all of your questionnaires, putting together your plans. That's literally my most fun part of the process, is like helping you really determine the root cause issue and like finally feel like you have some answers in a plan. So super excited to jump in with all of you guys. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening. I am going to leave it here. We'll be at a minute and a half and exactly, I mean, a minute and a half, an hour and a half at exactly a minute and a half from now. And I'm going to shut it down. So if we got any last minute people who want to click that link after that, it is going to go away. The replay will go out to y'all as well if you want to refer back to anything that we talked about in here. So have a wonderful evening, and I will talk to you guys next time. Have a good night. All right, you guys, we're hopping off. Have a good night. See you next time.